let's start discussing about the arrays in Java. Arrays in Java is similar to any other programming languages. Arrays are basically what? Arrays are basically a list of values. Values will be there inside something like this. You can have multiple values. First value, value 1, and you can have second value, value 2, and then you can have third value, value 3, and so on. So many values if you want to keep, and each of those values of same data type. Okay, same data type, then it is called as array. Because in Java it has to be same data type. There are other programming languages where we can have different data types, a mixed breed of values, but here in Java it has to be only same type of data. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Let's talk about the topics that we are going to discuss in this video. So first one is array declaration, where you will learn about how to declare arrays in a Java program, and then you will understand what is the range of an array, how you write the range, and what you call those range. You can call those ranges range, index, subscript. Okay, that comes with inside the bracket that is after the array name. Okay, so that inside bracket thing is what is reported in bulletin number 2. Then we will see an array example on Eclipse, and fourth topic we will discuss is various data types for array and the initial values with a demo on Eclipse again. So you can have int type of array, you can have string type of array, you can have boolean type of array. So all those things we will be seeing later, and their initial values, like without you setting the value. Then we'll talk about, in fifth point, we are talking about how you assign the values to array. Okay, here we'll be discussing the simple method, like one by one element we will assign the values. We'll talk about for loop in the next video, because there's a two lecture series, right? And then in the sixth we talk about the parallel array. So it is nothing but like two arrays which have same dimension, same length, same number of elements, and you have some kind of relationship between them. Okay, there's nothing much to know about parallel array, but since you may hear that term, that's why I'm covering it here. Okay, now let's understand how we declare arrays. Declaring array is a two-stage process, and so how we do it is, first we create an array variable. This is how we do it, creating an array variable. So array variables can have different data types, but each array will have the values inside it of that data type only. So for example, in this one we have array whose name is sales figure, okay, and its data type is double. So this array is a double data type array. The variable name here is sales figure, and all the values inside sales figures will have values in it of data type double. Double means what? Double means values with the decimal point, okay, integer values but with decimal point. So those are like real numbers. Okay, let's move on to next stage, which is the second stage, which is it needs to reserve memory for array variables. Okay, this both are part of declaring array. Right now we are still understanding how to declare an array in Java. So this is the example how to declare array. So now we had created the variable. Okay, that same variable is coming here, and then you allocate memory for that variable. Okay, so now when you allocate the memory, so on the left side will be the variable name, okay, the same, and on the right side it will be like how you create new objects in a class. Okay, so you will use the word new, and then you will use the data type, which is double here. So this is the same value comes here, and then how much position you want to how many values you want to allocate memory for. Like in this case, 20 elements you want to keep in this array named sales figure. Okay, so now both can be done. This entire thing can be done in one line. Instead of doing in two lines, you can do in one line here. So it's like double the array symbol, variable name, array variable name, new, and then again the data type, which is double. So this thing come here. Okay, and then 20 is denoting that we have 20 we are allocating memory for 20 elements. Okay, so this syntax is similar to how you create new objects for the classes that you have declared. We have seen earlier scanner class, how you do it. You say in the beginning, you say scanner, and then you put a variable name like keyboard, then you say equal to, and then you say new, and then you say again scanner, and then inside bracket you put some parameters like system.in. Okay, so I'm showing that 20 is the range of this array because you put 20 in the bracket. Okay, that means 20 is the range. It means it has 20 elements inside that array. Okay, index of that elements will be from 0 to 19. So 20 values will be denoted by first value index will be 0, and the last value index will be 19. Okay, I will select the Java project, and we'll name the project as Java lesson array, and we'll save in our Java lesson array folder in Eclipse workplace. We'll keep everything else default. You have seen this in the first chapter demo, so let's go ahead and do next, and we will do just finish. Module name, we are not going to create any module. We are saying don't create. So here Java lesson array, and in the source go ahead and start creating your new Java program. So in source, right click, new, we have to select this time class. Okay, so actual Java program is always a class. So let's delete the package we don't need. We want default package, and let's give a name to this program. Let's say it's a class, so we keep it as new uppercase letter, and demo array 1, and let's finish it. Okay, now we get the structure for our program: public class demo array 1, and now inside that main class, inside that program, let us start writing our main method, which is always the same. We can steal from any program. Okay, it will be there in our previous programs, that what we have practiced. This part, this line, public static void main, it is always the same. It was, see, the Eclipse will add automatically this ending bracket the moment you add that line. Okay, so once you have written that, now this program will simply create an array and use it for demo purpose. That's all. Okay, so let us create one array. So let's go ahead and take the syntax from our program, whatever we have. So let's take this one. Okay, so this is our syntax. So here we have hard-coded the value. So what this means is double is the data type of all the values inside this array. Okay, double would be all the values inside this array. Money values will have data type as double. Okay, And how many values will be there inside this array? 10 values. We have hard coded that value. Okay, you can have anything here like a function or a variable or a constant, but all of them should finally result in a integer number. Okay, so here we got 10. For the sake of simplicity, let's make it 3 only. Okay, so what it means is it will have 3 values inside this array, and each of those values can be of double data type. Okay, so let's keep it as money values. And now the index range for this 3 will be 0 1 2. Okay, because total of 3 values. This is the first value. Let's keep money value as $100, and so we got, this is the first value, and this is the, because in programs the array starts from 0. Actually there will be hardly any program you will find where the first value of array is represented with 1. This in bracket 0 represents first value in array money values. Okay, so I'm going to put that here too. Represent second value, and this 2 represents third value, and so on it goes on. But here we declared 3 here, that's why we got only 3 values. Okay, now we'll start printing one by one. That's all. This is our program, very simple program, simply using array and printing. So if you use the simple variables in your double variable, you will declare 3 different variables and start working on them. So if all the variables inside data type are same and correspond to one metric, like here you are setting the money values for maybe some any use case, like maybe for each day you are storing the money, like on day 0 how much money you have, on day 1 how much money you have, on day 2 how much money you have. So all those money are like similar values, right, for satisfying one person's account data. So you can have in that case array where you don't have to declare again different variables. So maybe on second day you have $200, on third day you had $400. Okay, so let's start printing. Printing is system dot, let's get it from here. No need to write those commands, simple commands. So you can edit like this. Here are my first 3 days account balances. Okay, and then you can write again. Let's not get into that detail now. Let's just simply start printing those numbers. So what it will print? Those values, that's all. Okay, this is a simple program, and here are my first 3 days account balances. Okay, so let's try to run it. Okay, so let's put a print line instead of print, so that it will start printing in the new line. So here you are seeing the difference of between print and print line. Okay, you can see below all the output came in one line only. Here all the output is coming in one line. Now I changed from print to print line. Okay, let us see how it's gonna change the behavior. See, all the outputs have come in different lines. Okay, this completes our demo for now.
Okay, in the previous example what we saw, we assigned the values later on, but we didn't check what the values would be when you immediately declare it. Okay, so let's see. If it is an integer data type array, then the initial values of all the elements inside it will be 0. Okay, If it is a double or a float data type array, then inside it all the values would be 0.0. For char and for string, it will be null, okay? And for boolean, it is always false.
Okay, let us see again what we meant by these things in the previous slide. When I say initial values, int, when we say int data type of the array, the initial value is 0, and double or float, the initial value is 0.0, and char or string data type, it's null. Null character is like, in we have a standard Unicode, which is like some standard. If you do Wikipedia, you will know what is Unicode. So each alphabet, each character, anything that can be typed on the keyboard, everything has some code. So for null, this is the code, and this is what is stored inside when you initially create a char array. Okay, or even for string, it is null initial value, and for boolean, the initial value is false. Okay, let us see what I mean by all those things. Let us open our Java and we'll continue in the same program. So this example had the array of what data type? Double. Okay, so let us increase the length from the length of array from 3 to 4. Okay, and let us add one print statement. This time we'll add, this is the fourth value, right? We are printing the fourth value here, printing fourth element. Let's call it element of the array. So this array is of double data type. So what we are expecting, we didn't set any value. We set value for 0, 1, 2. We did not set any value for 3. So we have not set any value. So looking at our presentation, we know that the double or float data type will show output as 0.0. Let us see what we are getting. I'm going to run it, just run it. Okay, and see the output here. The output is 0.0. Okay, let us now have one array of int data type. Okay, int, like this, and let's see initial age. Let's see age. Okay, student age, student age list, maybe equal to new int, and in bracket let's put 2, or any number based on how many students are there or in your class. Okay, now we'll not input any value here. We'll just try to print out that array value, only the first element. Okay, just for the sake of so let's put that here, and we can print, we have 2 there, so we can print either 0 or 1. Let us print 1. Okay, printing the first element, or actually second element. So we declared 2 there, right? So we can have only values 0 or 1. So printing the second element of array student age list. Okay, so we'll print it and we'll see what we get. We got 0 because it is integer. Integer output has to be 0. See here, this slide shows integer has 0. Now let us take a char and see what it will print. So char array will be something like this, and let's say my letters equal to new, same char, and this time let's put 2 values, 20 values, whatever it will say. It will allocate 20 locations or memory addresses. Okay, so let's start printing it. We'll print just the first one. Okay, my letters, this is the first value, and if I run it, we will see what we get. Okay, it's null. Actually, you cannot see there is something, but you cannot see that. So okay, and similarly, if we have a string, it will be same thing. Let's take string array, my text string, 20 allocations, and we'll simply print this one, same thing, but this time we'll print before the account balances, okay, or before the student age. Let's print it here after the third account balance, okay. And this is my text, right? We're going to print the my text that comes before the student age. Okay, let us print it. Okay, so this is a null text, okay, this is a null text because you can print it, okay. So for character it is null, for string it is null text value, okay. But again, this null is not equal to the word null, okay. It is showing as null, but it is internally nothing, okay. We have one more data type to check, which is boolean. Let us declare something like, I think boolean will be lowercase, boolean array, quiz answers, because they are true false kind of quizzes. New boolean quiz of 10 questions, okay, and then we'll print it at the end. We haven't declared anything, so the first value should be false. Any value should be false, okay. So because we didn't declare any, we didn't set any value yet for the element. This is how we set the value for each element. We write the array name bracket and that number which is called as index 0 1 2, and then we start setting the values, okay. This should be done programmatically by some for loop or something like that. Here we had a bit simple example, that's why I said that. Okay, now let us run this one just to see what we get for quiz answers. 0th element, false, okay. It's not a text, it's the meaning, it's a word meaning. This false is not same as the word false, same as null, it is not same as the word null, okay. This is simple. Okay, now let us see the another method of initializing and setting the values. So in the example we saw, we set the values using the array name and the index, array name, index, array name and index, okay. Now we want to do all these three things in one line. So let us see this student age list. We have changed it to int 5 so that it can have 5 values, okay. That is one way to initialize it. Now another way to initialize the same thing and at same time setting the values is int bracket to make it an array, and then the array name equal to and the flower brackets, okay. And you can put the values inside, like let's put the first value as 10, second value as 20, third value as 30, fourth value as 40, fifth value is 50. Now this means we have declared an array of integer type with 5 values, 5 placeholders, and all the placeholders have the values, okay. So all of them, there are 5 elements now and all of them have the values. So if we want to print them, we can print all of them here. Let's go here and declare it. I'm going to cut it and paste from top to here, and we are going to print all of them. So where is the student age list? Here. So let's take that and print here, okay. Let's print 2 values, 1 and 4, okay. So 4 is going to give us 5th element. So this is also one way. You don't need to use this. This is not, if you already know the initial set of values, then you can provide the values, okay. But if you think all the initial values are all 0 for each integer, then you can give just bracket 5, and that means all the 5 elements have 0 value. But if they are non-zero and you know already the values in the beginning, then this is how you set the values in the beginning. Let us run the program and we'll focus on the last 2 outputs only, okay. Let us see what the problem is. Duplicate local variable. Okay, so we copied from here, right? We will comment it. Okay, so we commented there and we are declaring it here. We have to just declare it before using it. So we are using it in the line 31 and 32. Okay, and we declare it before that, which is line 30. So let's run it. So you see the values 20 and 50 is the output. So 20 is 0 1, the first, I mean if you start your counter from 0, so 1 is position 1, and then 2 3 4 position 4, so which are respectively, if you say, if you count as a normal mathematics, the first position, which is represented by 0 element, is called as first, 1 element is called as the second element. So it may sound confusing, but in program it always starts from 0. This is called as 0 position, first position, second position, third position, fourth position. But we have still learned from childhood the number starts from 1, right? So we call it as first position, second position, third position, fourth position, fifth position. So that's why in the comment I wrote fifth element, but for program to understand the fifth element, it has to be 4. Okay, this is how we set the values instead of the initialization without any values.
Okay, a parallel array is a one with same number of elements as another, and or both this array should have the same number of elements. Okay, so that is called as a parallel array. Like when you have some valid values, you have two arrays here. One is valid values and one is price. So maybe for the code 101, the price is 0.29. For code 108, the price is 1.23. When the code is 201, the price is 3.50. So if they are related, they are called as parallel arrays. So their length will be same always. So in this case, if both first one is length 10, the second one also is 10, then you can use them inside one loop.